Alright you guys, ZFR back here once again, and I thought I would go ahead and make a video about next gen consoles. There's something everybody's getting hyped about, everybody's talking about, but at this point in time we haven't really gotten to see much of what they can do so far. I'm talking about the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. You know, they're supposed to be coming out at the end of this year, or at least that's what the speculation is. So yeah, pretty much I'm mildly excited for the next gen consoles. Honestly, I'm not really as excited as I was like for PlayStation 5 and for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Like honestly, like the hype for upgrading consoles has kind of died down for me. You know, I just want better performance and stuff like that. And in this video, I don't really want to focus too much on the tech and stuff like that. I just want to kind of go over some of the things I want to see come along with games next generation more so than the consoles, if I'm being honest. So yeah, this is really just a next gen in general type video. So pretty much getting into this, one of the first things I honestly want to see is I want to see a lot less of when the generation first starts and they decide to put new games on the old gen consoles just because they don't want to leave people out or they want to make extra sales. I know some people say, nah, you gotta think about the people who didn't have the cash to upgrade, but honestly that argument doesn't work, because what about the people who did fork over the cash to upgrade? It's not fair for them to still be getting their experience held back when they paid who knows how much these things are going to cost, 400, 500 extra bucks to, you know, get the better experience. They should be getting a much better experience, and they should be getting things that people on the last gen honestly can't get. At least in my opinion, you know, it's just not fair, if you ask me, that they do that at the beginning of every generation. It's not fair to the people who spend all that extra money to upgrade. Maybe some people disagree with me on this, but I mean personally that's just how I feel about it. So moving on to the next thing, honestly this whole section is about Xbox. I'm sorry, but I need more Xbox first party exclusives this generation. I need something. I don't want anything like Sea of Thieves or Ori or whatever else they had. I want more stuff like Gears and Halo, because honestly Halo, not Halo, but Gears was the only reason I had to buy an Xbox this generation, and in all honesty, I personally never did it, because I'm sorry, one or two games the entire generation, almost an entire decade, is not enough to buy a console over. I'm sorry, but it just isn't. So I stuck with PlayStation pretty much this entire generation, because, you know, I'm a real big fan of a lot of the exclusive games that are out there, like God of War, Last of Us, stuff like that. However, when it comes to Xbox, I do really like Gears of War. I do kind of like Halo. Halo, for me, in my opinion, I like Gears a lot more than Halo. But you know, a lot of people like those games and stuff. But I'm sorry, I need something different from Xbox this generation. I need way more first parties, if you ask me. Next up, I need more new IPs in general next generation. Now, don't get me wrong. We got a good amount of new IPs this generation. Bloodborne, what's it called? Horizon Zero Dawn, Sekiro. Those are all PlayStation exclusives. Wow, that makes me sound really biased, but which I guess I kind of am, because once again, I stuck with PlayStation this entire generation. In my opinion, at this point, they do have the better console because of the exclusive games alone. But you know, then there was Death Stranding. I guess you can kind of count Last of Us as a new IP, but it was really from last generation. But you know, you get my drift. We need more new games, more new ideas and stuff. I'm tired of all of these sequels and everything. Don't get me wrong, sequels are cool, but I need a lot more new stuff mixed in there with all of it. So yeah, that's something else I honestly want to see from the next generation of games. Now, in terms of like some of the performance and stuff I want to see happening. We already got word that the Xbox seems like it's going to be the more powerful console, the Xbox Series X. However, the PlayStation 5 is supposedly going to have this thing called an SSD. I'm not really too sure on the specifics of this. You know, I'm just now honestly getting into, you know, PCs and stuff like that, so I'm pretty much a noob in that territory. But from what I understand, it pretty much has a lot to do with information and loading speeds and stuff like that. So I imagine in a video game that probably musters up to some really important stuff like loading in textures, you know, how big you can make a world, how much detail you can fit into different levels and stuff like that. So I guess you can kind of equate that to power as well. But overall, you know, in terms of some of the performance and stuff I want to see, I honestly don't want to see as many load screens next generation. I'm sorry, they completely safted us with that load screen stuff this generation. At the beginning of the generation, all we heard was no more load screens, less load screens, almost no load screens, and I swear, we got mostly load screens this generation. I want to see a lot less load screens going forward next generation. That's something they promised us. This generation kind of failed on. Graphics is an obvious thing, but if I'm being honest, I'm not too insane over graphics. I just want the games to look good, you know, to kind of be a little bit wowing and just, you know, just have a good aesthetic going. It doesn't need to be absolutely mind-blowing with every game, like stuff like Crysis or what's another good one, or whatever those games from the beginning of generation were, like Rise, Son of Rome, and Infamous were really good-looking games. Like, not everything needs to be mind-blowingly realistic like that, or even stuff like Last of Us Part 2 and stuff like that. Not everything needs to look that level of good, but you know, can I get more, like, I don't know, detail in the environments? Can I see a lot more being done with physics, like buildings being destroyed like in Battlefield, you know, some weather textures and stuff like that? Just make some more dynamic physics and stuff, and we should be good. You know, I just want to I want these worlds and stuff to start feeling a little bit more alive. In my opinion, this generation, one really big problem game developers have had is that they seem to think bigger is better. And in all honesty, in my opinion, that's not the case. I honestly want to see more quality packed into these games, a lot more detail and stuff. So yeah, overall, that's really, if I'm keeping honest, that's really all I really have to say. Anything else would be going outside of, like, you know, the console specific stuff and more into like the game specific and everything. I mean, I guess if I was to name something, I want a lot more multiplayer games next generation. We didn't get a lot of them this generation. I honestly want to see a return of more games with single player and multiplayer. Like, that was great when every other game that came out used to have both. Don't get me wrong, not every game needs both. But honestly, I mean, I would like to get a better mix of them next generation. In fact, this generation, people either felt like, companies and developers either felt like, you know, people don't want story or people don't want multiplayer. It felt like it was one or the other, and I would like to see maybe both a little more often, or if not both, maybe at least a better mixture. Like, can we switch it up a little bit? Like, honestly, games like Battlefield and Call of Duty, in my opinion, don't need single players anymore. If I'm just keeping it real, I'd rather them just put their all into really good multiplayers for those games. In my opinion, that's what they should do. If you want to make a single player, make a what do you call it, lobby where people can play with bots and stuff like in Call of Duty. Like, that's all you really have to do. But, you know, we can still have plenty of single player games and stuff like that. But that's just one other little thing. So, yeah, with that being said, that's all I really have to say, guys. That's kind of what I'm hoping to see from next gen. At this point in time, we haven't really gotten to see much of what next gen has to offer. You know what I'm saying? Like, we haven't seen anything just about from the PlayStation 5 except for a tech demo, which there was a little back and forth over that, whether that was really anything tangible or not. I personally don't care. I'm trying to see a confirmed real game before I give any judgment. So yeah, overall I'm excited for next gen a little bit, but I want to see more. We haven't seen a lot. I'm ready to see stuff. There's not going to be E3 this year, so it looks like they're going to be revealing a lot of stuff whenever they feel like it, basically. But overall, I'm somewhat excited. So yeah, tell me what you guys think down below in the comments. Don't forget to leave likes and comments, all that good stuff down below. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video and want more like it. And overall, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys on the next one. ZFR out.